when it comes to women wear, you do a lot of shimmer, a lot of glamour, and a lot of sequins and bead and all that, and which is of course so beautiful and gorgeous. But when it comes to menswear, you do a tone-on-tone embroidery. The lines are tapered, clean, simple, smart. So how do you strike this balance between the two?
I don't know. It's my personal choice. I think. Like, if, for example, like if you see my stores, there are a lot where the look is completely becoming like my home, which is a lot of whites. It's a lot of flowers, fresh flowers, a lot of deep wood, which I like. I love a cross culture of old antique or old world furniture mixed with a lot of modernness. I think that whole twist of tradition meeting modernism or meeting today, meeting the nowness of today is something that I really like. And in my journey, I've tried different things. I've tried being very subtle, or I've tried being, different. I've tried different elements, but I keep coming back to something that I enjoy. And what I realized with time and experience is that you have to come back to what you enjoy, because that is the true you, and you shouldn't shy away from that. So for me, I love the glitz, the glamour. Women are so beautiful. I think Indian women just are simply stunning. And women all over the world are stunning. They carry clothes so fantastically. They will always be a role model for every glamour designer. So women, you all deserve a clap.
Thank you, thank you.
Yes. And I think that, and what I like in a man is that he doesn't make too much effort. Men have to wear their personality, which I really enjoy seeing. And so a lot of my clothes for men are not that glitzy. They kind of experiment in color. They experiment slightly in cut. But I kind of like a very tapered, structured look on men. I really like that. And like I said, my sense of interiors, I don't like any sequins or too much embroidery in my homes or in my stores, because I find that in the clothes. So I like a lot of freshness of flowers and plants, and I like a lot of white all around. And so it's your taste.
So how many collections do you do in a year? Is it season based?
So predominantly we do 3 collections, but when you run stores and when you get into the whole, the business process, then you need to continuously have clothes for stores.
Yeah, bridal season coming in.
Bridal season coming
Festival,
festive coming in.
Yeah.
It's very difficult to cope up with it, and especially when you come from Mumbai, because Mumbai doesn't have that much space for us to have big, ateliers, but we kind of cope up. Yeah.
Manish Malhotra has the biggest stores in Delhi, Mumbai, anywhere. He's got the biggest stores. I'm sure few of you sitting here have visited his stores. Now, there are different clients. North has a different clientele. North generally, you also belong to this part of the country. People say that we are loud and, we believe in brands. We like to show brands and we like to show the logos. And whereas Bombay is more subtle and subdued and very casual dressing. So how do you distribute your collections? I'm sure brides coming in Delhi would be completely different, whereas as compared to coming to Bombay. So do you do it yourself? You have a team who decides that this particular collection is going to go to Bombay and this particular collection would be showcased in Delhi?
Well, I think it's very important for a designer to do what they do, So there's such a bashing that, earlier, today there's such an acceptance. Like today's bride is the millennial bride today knows her mind. She knows exactly what she wants. She knows which designer to go for which function. So I have to tell you something really funny. 2-3 years ago, when a bride would come, there would be her mother talking, her mother-in-law speaking, her sister speaking. Everybody would be speaking but the bride. But today, it's the bride who speaks, the mother-in-law's quiet, the mother's quiet, and the fiancé has no say. So it's the girl, it's that girl power, right? And so the girl exactly knows what she wants. I mean, when I say girl, I mean the bride. And that is so refreshing. I think that is so cool. That is so wonderful to see the millennial who is so clear. And what is so amazing here today is that the young parents of today have also started giving space. And they say, okay, you decide your clothes, I'm going to decide my clothes later. And I think that is so nice. And so I think I kind of stick to what I do and what I stand for. And initial years when there was so much of bashing on sequins and glamour and all of that. But today there's such an acceptance. So what I find so fabulous today is that the young bride doesn't fear being into beautiful handloom sari or a cotton woven ghagra or a skirt.
functions,
Next day she doesn't mind being completely traditional. Then she doesn't fear wearing a glamorous glitzy gown to a fabulous fun Sangeet lehenga. So what she doesn't mind trying out the different looks and styling herself differently. And I think that's a huge change that I've seen in the last 2 years of acceptance of different tradition and culture and different kind of storytelling of every designer. Acceptance has come in, which is so good. People don't fear being themselves. People don't fear being experimental and trying out different looks. So I think that's fantastic. So it's all you millennials who are making that change. So clap for yourselves.
Since we were kids, we've seen that, this particular fabric is for a winter season. My mother used to take out her silks during winters and then stack them back every time, summers would come in. She would take out her georgettes and nets and chiffons. But now these students see a lot of, these are the questions that come up to me, that aap to kehte ho ki there is autumn winter collection we have when they send their collections for Gen Next. But every time we send our collections, we sitting in North, use corduroys and velvets because that's the kind of winters we see. But in Bombay, there are no seasons. Even when you go and see an autumn winter show there in Lakme Fashion Week, you see chiffons, you see georgettes, you see nets, you see mull. So what is it? Are there no seasons for fabrics now? Any fabric goes in any season?
Well, definitely there's a coexist, but I'm on the board of Lakme Fashion Week and I'm always there at the meeting. And Gen Next is one show which I make sure that I attend. This was the only year that I couldn't attend it. That's one show at Fashion Week which I love to attend to support young and new talent, because young and new talent are going to take the fashion industry ahead. And I'm full of support of that. But actually, no, that's not true. When we kind of judging the clothes at our board meeting, we just see the outfit, the texturing. We don't really go into, oh, this is chiffon and that's corduroy. So we choose designers who we feel are a little more different from what is expected. And I feel menswear is a space which needs to experiment more. And it's always a little more difficult, and menswear entries are a bit few. But coming back to Mumbai, because Fashion Week is about now in Mumbai, it's not the next season. So a lot of people like do winter festive, they do cottons, they do chiffons, they do silks, and a lot of people do wool as well. So it also depends what market are you catering to, which part of the world are you catering to. So if you are catering to or designing for cities where there's a lot of winter, you will mix a bit of wool or pashmina and raw silks and all of that. But if you're not and you're more Bombay based and then there's no winter, so you'll probably do clothes which are a bit more lighter.
So you said that you work on 3 or 4 collections a year. So how does this, every time you have to think of something new, you have to, the client, the customers become so demanding. We want something new, we're spending money, we want value for money. So how does, what is the pressure like? How do the concepts come in, and how do you work from a concept to working it down to getting the garments on the rack?
So there are journeys, right? When you're new, like you guys, you have to come up with something which kind of is different from what anybody's seen. You enjoy the process, the stress, all of it. And then comes a time when you've got stores and you're in the retail business, which has to be consistently fed. So you have orders and you have clothes selling from the rack, which have to be refilled. So it's kind of that one stress that goes on at the back of your mind all the time. Rents are getting higher, spaces are getting bigger. But for me, that stress is also somewhere, it's like that thing that I enjoy, because work is what I live for. Like I hate weekends, guys. I know it's a new millennial thing that no Saturday, Sunday working, but I hate it. I love to work even on a Sunday. So I kind of look out for jobs. If you guys have any job for me to do on Sunday, do let me know. So I'm constantly looking out for work on Sunday. But the thing is that, so it is a responsibility when you're in the business of retail, and there is sometimes that you have to cater to the audience that you have or what they're expecting out of you. But in all of this, one thing that stands out and will always stand out is what you want to do, who you want to be. That should never go. If I like glitter or glamour, I've been completely unapologetic about it. At a time when critics bashed me for it, at a time when mainstream senior designers looked down upon it, all of it. I introduced the concept of a showstopper. I introduced the concept of the front row of film stars and celebrities sitting on the front row. I got a lot of critical bashing for it, but today I see it being done by every designer. Every designer is dressing up a celebrity. Every designer is working towards the front row of having important people there, or then doing glamour and some glitz somewhere. So not because that's not really a triumph or anything like that. It's just, to me, it kind of puts that faith in what I have been thinking, that what I love is what I will stick to. Of course, I'll give in to demand at times. Of course, I'll give in to a client who's giving me business and looking out for something that they want. But I will always, always balance it from my thought process as well. So it is so important, whether it's retail, it's business, it's all of it. But do not lose that touch with yourself. And from the heart, what you enjoy should always be done. I mean, if you enjoy eclectic, you enjoy something which is dark, you enjoy something which is very organic, you enjoy something which is about sustainable fashion, go for it, because that is you. And you is very important.
Manish, you've been in the film industry for 29 years, almost 3 decades, and you were the one who introduced the concept of costume styling. So I read it somewhere that there was this time when you, I think, were given a project and you were working with a filmmaker, and you asked him about the storyline. He was taken aback. What do you have to do? You just have to come and design clothes. But you got into the storyline, the characters of the film, and you came up with the costume designing, which was not there earlier. In the late 80s or the mid 80s, we would see the actress just wearing a particular sort of a garment and dancing around the trees, and that's about it. But you were the one who got the Filmfare Award for Rangila, and I remember tearing the pages of the magazine and taking Urmila's pictures to my tailor for that particular button skirt. I said, "Mujhe aisi hi skirt chahiye." So you were the one who completely changed the outlook of the movie. So how was it? Be it Pooh from be it Karishma Kapoor, she was in Kabhi Khushi Kabhi Gham, or to Kajol for Kuch Kuch Hota Hai. So how was it? Was it tough? Because it's not easy. I'm sure when you're introducing something, people do not accept it in one go. So how was it?
So I actually, as a child, I think the only thing that I've ever cried was to watch a film. So I have purely loved Indian films and Hindi films, as they say, and Bollywood. And as a kid, my mother was luckily very supportive. And I was whenever I had a school holiday, I would be in the theatre watching a film wide-eyed. And now that I'm 52 years old, till today, for me the biggest stress buster is watching a film. So I love it so much. And if I wouldn't have been a fashion designer or costume designer, I would have been a film director. So films is something that I really, really enjoy. And I think that if you see our cinema, and I kind of grew to watch a lot of black and white films, and if you see filmmakers like Guru Dutt and V. Shantaram and Raj Kapoor, their films were fantastic. The way they were shot, they were so ahead of their time. If you see K. Asif's Mugliasen, if you see Kamal Amrohi's Mahal, or you see Pakiza, and you see a lot of Raj Kapoor's work, it's brilliantly shot, fabulously styled. There's a film called Andaz, which is the first, like a first film where there were 2 heroes, Raj Kapoor and Dilip Kumar, and Nargis ji was the actress. The first shot of that film is Nargis ji wearing high-riding boots, and she's wearing breeches with a white shirt. That film was made in 1948, and she's riding a horse. And there's this whole party sequence where she's coming down the stairs, and she's wearing a Empire Line gown with a long trail, and all the men looking dapper in white tuxedos. So there was a lot of style in the 50s and the 40s and the 60s. And 70s were the whole flower power, big stardom fashion of big collars and all of that, which I really enjoy. I think it's the 80s that we kind of lost that. And kind of, when I was coming into films, it was very, very loud. The style had all gone on. Of course, with filmmakers like Yash Chopra and Shikhar Kapoor were the only ones. Very, very few directors who kind of looked into clothes. But I think I loved films so much, and I always thought that I haven't really studied fashion. I must have a lot of knowledge of what I'm doing. So films I already had knowledge of because I loved them so much. I used to sit with the tailor and learn, like look at cutting and understand cutting a garment. And look at like Western clothes. And one day I asked my tailor, how come your darts are different and this Western outfit, the dart is different? So he says, oh, this is the princess cut. So I was like, why can't this be put into a blouse? Or he said, we can try it. So I would kind of literally, like, I remember the shootings were like next morning. I remember Dilwale Dulhaniya Le Jayenge, the clothes had to leave for Switzerland. That entire night I sat in the workshops of the tailors and got the work done so it could be delivered in the morning. And so many nights working till 4 o'clock, waking up at 6 o'clock, rushing to the set, all of that. So I gave it my all. So there are so many, I sacrificed everything and gave my work everything that I had, and still did. I enjoyed a lot. And I feel very privileged that it's very rare to see a technician in the film industry to last out for 29 years. And now I'm working with the third generation, which is Varun, Alia Bhatt, Tiger Shroff, Ananya, Tara, Janvi, Sara, all of these people who are so much younger and who used to call me uncle, and I've of course completely stopped them from calling me uncle. So the new word is M or MM. But it is it feels really good to working on a film like Kalank or Student of the Year 2 at the same time. I'm now starting a film with Sara, I'm starting a film with Janvi, I'm doing Karan's next film. So films are yet an integral part. Next year we complete 30 years of costume design. I complete 30 years of costume design. So it's very rare that somebody hangs there, working continuously and working with the third generation of actors. And I really feel proud about that. And I feel that's the best gift that I could have asked for. Staying relevant and moving with the times.
I'm sure all of them want to know, how is it working with the new gen? You worked with almost all possible stars in Bollywood. Do they voice their opinion? Are they more conscious of their looks? Do they tell you that this is what we want, this is what we do not want to wear? Because the industry is evolving.
So I think two actors who told me something very interesting is Sushant Singh Rajput and Radhika Apte. So their whole thing was that like Sushant tells me, you're so interesting, Manish, because you are a person who has the wisdom of the film industry. You've seen it all, worked with every single actor, the biggest of filmmakers, so many big hits, so many influential films, and you're yet working in this generation of ours. So he keeps asking you, what is it that keeps you going? What is your thought process when you're working now with the third generation? And same was with Radhika Apte, and she said to me that I really wanted to chat with you because I feel you're one person who has the wisdom and the experience, and you are still now, and you're also a part of our generation. So I think these are the best things that you can hear and feel, and I definitely feel good about it. And I think to be relevant, it's very important for you to think from their mind. It's very, very important to think of what are today's generation looking at. And of course not giving in completely, because then you're not yourself. So coming with your experience, coming with what life teaches you, what work teaches you, but yet being open to what they have to say. So I'm very open to an eclectic bride of today. I'm very open to an actress who's today, and she wants something different, and she wants things that are relevant today. So one is to know youngsters like yourself, and I really look forward to days like these because I get to meet a lot of younger minds, and I look for younger minds. It's always so interesting and so fabulous to think what you guys are thinking.
Okay, tell us something about the looks you created for Mugliasen. How was it taking on that project?
Mugliasen, my assistant Nitin is sitting here, he knows that very well, is what we went through, because it was something that I got so excited because Shabana Azmi, the actress, is such a big influence on me. We run an NGO together called Mijma, which is a small village in which is where Shabana ji is from. And she always does such different things, whether it's a play, whether it's a film, whether it's an international film, whether it's an English film. So when the play came to me and the director Feroz Khan was over and he was talking about Mugliasen, I said, look, I love the film and I want to today try out something different. I want to do costumes for a play. There were 550 costumes, and what I did not realize is that in movies, you start costumes and you kind of work the looks and you do all the test of all the clothes. I mean, the actors wear it, we work alterations, changes, all of that. But there's this first schedule, and then there's a second schedule. So you could alter, take your time, you could change the outfit. What I realized at the play was that no, it's now. Everything is required together. And every actor has a double. When I say double, it means that two actors for the same part. So one actor does one show and the other actor does the next show, which means the other actor's clothes have to be ready. And I was taking it like, yeah, I'm making it. These are the clothes. They're saying, okay, great. I went for the dance rehearsals to see the choreography, to see all the actors, everything. And then there were 10 days left. We only had 100 outfits ready. We needed 550 outfits. So I have sat day and night. I shifted to the NCPA because there were 50 dancers. They wanted lavish clothes for the dancers, and so 10 outfits were coming, 20 outfits were coming, 50 outfits were coming. So we slowly saw it getting all ready, and just the night before has been where we finished all the garments. I think that last 10 days I hardly slept, stressed out, getting all the clothes done. But it was a great experience when you see it all on the stage and you realize that 550 outfits. It's been now 3 years. This October will be 3 years to Mugliasen as well.
It's a delight watching the entire crew perform on stage, and the costumes are amazing. So we have all these students sitting here, and I'm sure each one of them sitting in this auditorium is on social media. And social media these days has become like the big thing. Everybody's into e-commerce, everybody's into online shopping. So what is your take on that?
I love social media. I think it is a phenomenon of today, and we accept it. But we must learn to enjoy it. There are some big celebrities who choose not to be on it, which is also fine. Ultimately, it is your work that will speak. It's not that because you're on social media is going to help you beyond a point. So here is the thing. I find social media, there are two things to it. One side, which is it's an insight to your work. Sometimes it's an insight to your life, and it's really nice, and that's the part I enjoy. But also the other part is that it's very confusing because there is so much that is like, it's like they say there's a real life and there's a social media life. So how much of it is reality, we don't know. And also we're reacting to a lot of the conversations that happen there, but we don't know the person. So I think that at times so I look at it as something that I really enjoy. I'm a part of it and I will not deny it. But I also do not take it that seriously where it would kind of disturb me, or I would think, oh my God, this is so confusing, or all of that. So that balance is really important.
I know you've got two accounts, a personal and an official account. I'm sure all of you sitting here are following. What about online shopping? The retail has come up in a very, very big way. So is it going to affect the fashion industry?
Well, I think it should add. Why would it affect? I think e-commerce or even online shopping is great. We can kind of pick up stuff from so many different worlds and different designers, from Korean designers to Japanese designers to Indian designers and to, different designers, European, American, Pakistani, different kind of designers. So I think it's a great thing, and I think online shopping is something that all the millennials are really used to, and I think it's fabulous.
You said that you're associated with this NGO, which is Mijwan, and every year you do a show. So what is the thought behind it?
Well, the thought here is we started with 40 women, and today 300 women are employed in Mijwan, and also the neighboring villages we send the work to them as well. And it was not just about empowerment, it was also about making the women there feel that they are doing something. They are also contributing to earning its self-worth, The women feel so good that they are doing something which is creative and something that they enjoy doing. They take their work, we allow them to take their work at home as well. And I think every year we do a show, they see film stars, models wearing the clothes. So here is the thing, the fabric, the thread, the design, all goes from my office to them in Mijran. They create it, it comes back, we do all the washing, the corrections in Mumbai, and then it gets produced. And every year we make it a point to celebrate this association. And this year, it's the 10th year, so it's going to be a big celebration in December. But it's been a great journey. It's been a very focused journey to empower the women and for the women to feel self-worthy, which they are. And it's increasing. We're going to increase a lot of more people in Mijran.
There's this buzz around that, buy less, and everybody's talking about sustainability, global fashion. H&M is doing their bit, and brands are coming forward, and people are taking out marches. But in our country, we've always been at least following sustainable fashion. What my elder sister wore came down to me, then I wore it and I used it and I passed it on to my sister. So what is your take on sustainability and this thing that, fashion industry is polluting the environment and we are bringing the planet to an end? So what is your take on that?
Well, I think that's not true. I think that, yes, that's not true, though I think we are also, like as you mentioned, that we've always been into sustainability.
Following sustainability.
Yeah, but the thing is that it is a very big kind of a topic today, or something that we need to also be very aware. So even if a simple thing like even when your water is on your tap, it all starts from you. It all starts from your home. Like just the other day, I was telling my assistants that don't just waste paper. Be careful about the taps that you open. Even I've got conscious on that. And I think for why a designer, but every individual today has to be aware that we have to work towards the environment and for the betterment of it. And I think that is something which is very important. And not only as a designer, but as a citizen, we should be very aware and a part of it. But technology, artificial intelligence, sustainability, all of that is today a very, very important part of our work, and we should look into it for sure.
So fashion every day changes and it's going through so many phases. It has its ups and downs. So how do you keep up with the trend?
Well, I try to make a trend rather than keeping up with it. And I also sometimes stick to, not sometimes, all the time, try to stick to the ideology that I have. There will be a phase where people will not be so much for it, and there'll be a phase where it will all change. For example, I was in New York last month and I was there for about 8 to 9 days, and I went to all different kinds of stores. And I was like, how in a sequence, how in is a retro 80s and 70s look. I went from Gucci to all the other designers are doing such, eclectic work and very 80s and all of them. That's really back, the oversize, different patchwork, different, colors and all of it. It's out there. So like I mentioned, the best part of fashion today is that people are experimenting and they are not fearing, whether it's men, whether it's women, whether it's, endogenous dressing, which is different kind of dressing. And I think that is so good. I mean, that whole fluidity has come into Indian fashion and into fashion, and it's also flowing into Indian fashion. And I think it's a time for all of you guys to be out there and speak your stories through your work.
Also, all of a sudden, so many influencers have come in, social media influencers, and they have followings in lakhs and thousands, and all these kids get influenced. So what is your take on influencers, be it beauty products, and they are endorsing everything by and large? So what is your take on the influencers which have kind of flooded the social media?
You know what, I think it's to be enjoyed. I really enjoy it. I feel there's so much of young people, there's people who are just kind of, putting out what they feel like, they're cross-dressing, they are having fun, and they are, saying what they want to say. You follow them if you're enjoying them. You don't enjoy them, don't follow them. I think it's to be taken in your stride, it's to be enjoyed, and not really, you don't really need to, but the time that it starts bothering you, and the time that it starts confusing you is a time for you to take a break from it. So enjoy it. Don't let it play you. Let it not play your mind and take you away from something that you want to do in this world. Till I look at it as an entertainment. It's very entertaining at times. Yes, sometimes it could be like I made it a whole thing this year that I will wake up and not see my phone for the first 1 hour. At times I failed, at times I do see it, I'll be honest, because I only know how to be honest. But a lot of times I haven't. So I made it a conscious. Earlier, it's like you wake up and you're just seeing your phone. I keep telling my assistant, he only looks at the phone all the time, even when we are having lunch or dinner and having a conversation. So I know there's so much going on, and you guys are really interested and excited about it. But you're young, you all should enjoy it. But the time that it kind of bothers you and takes you away from your core of thinking and thought processes, that's when you should take a break from it.
What is your take on maximalism?
the acceptance of each other, the acceptance of fluidity, whether it's sexuality, whether it is what you think, what you wear, who you are, is so vivid today. And I think that whether it is minimalism or maximism, all of that, is accepted. But you have to be true to yourself. Like for example, for me, like I mentioned, that I don't like too much glitter on a man's outfit, so I don't wear it because it's not me. I'm not against it. I like it on people who wear it well, who can carry it. But I'm not going to wear it just because it's in or it's out. I'm going to be who I am. I think to me, that is most important.
Manish, if I may ask you, who has been your guru, your mentor?
Life.
Right?
I think that professionalism, I think for me, it was so important that if somebody's giving me an outfit order, whether it's a film, whether it is something, I take it really seriously. Till date, I mean, I never faltered in terms of deliveries. Even if I was late, in those days I was alone, no assistant, nothing at a shoot, but I saw to it the dress will be worth its weight, So I really, I think, give my heart and soul to my work, and I really enjoy it as well. So that's what it is.
And how do you deal with criticism and trolling? Does it upset you when you pick up your phone and...
Well, initial years, because I came from the world of movies, my mainstream acceptance was critical and criticized because, it's Bollywood, or film stars are wearing his clothes, and and all of that. But I didn't give in to that. But that is also my personality, and sometimes in my personality, I tend to look more towards positive than the negative. So even if there's been an article, and I have had designers write articles, about me, not mentioning my name, but to me, that was not as important as my work was. Whether what's selling, what's being accepted, how do I better my finish, what different can I do, where am I going wrong, where am I going right. And trust me guys, at the age of 52, 29 years in films, 14 years in mainstream, I still think that every night and every morning. And that sometimes bothers me, that sometimes excites me. So for me, it's not about who criticized, what did they say, get back to them. It's absolutely irrelevant. What is relevant ultimately is my client who is buying my outfit, me as a creative person, and me as an individual person who wants to do what they want to do. If I want to come here to INIFD and to talk to all you students here in Chandigarh and meet up learn from Manish Malhotra students who've come from all over the city, I will do that because I enjoy doing it. Now there could be somebody who says, don't come here, go to this institute, or don't do this but do that. That never ends, that never leaves us. But for me, INIFD is important. They've done a great job of what they do. Their students are good, they have the passion, they travel from different cities to be here today. For me, that matters. And because of that, I'm here. And so I think that's what it is. I don't really take that too seriously.
Again, coming back to social media, because social media has become a big part of our life. So, morning you pick up your phone and you see these various airport looks coming in, flying to this place and flying to that place. So what is it? Because there's so much of pressure on the stars these days to look nice. The photographers are sitting there. So how do they deal with it? Do they call you up and tell you? No, but but they're trashed also. There are times when they are trolled and trashed.
Which is so unfair because look, I have to tell you this very funny story. I was just coming out I keep going to Delhi a lot and all of that. And there were photographers at the airport. So I told that guy, please don't shoot me. My scarf, I've worn this 100 times. My track pants and t-shirt. I haven't really come ready for an airport look. So don't take my photograph. And they started laughing. But I guess that's the way it is today. And I think it's great that you make an effort to go to the airport. I kind of enjoy it. And of course, it's very taxing for them, I'm sure. But I think that they're also enjoying part of it.
Yeah, I heard it somewhere or I saw it on television, I don't know. Karan Johar saying that he really enjoys the airport looks. He kind of plans his look before he boards the flight.
He loves to plan his looks.
Which is really...
So tomorrow, in fact, he and me are doing a joint interview and he's going to be dressed up and I'm going to be in my simple black and navy blue. I look like that sad, poor friend.
Okay. So Manish, which is your favorite brand? Apart from, of course, everybody knows, which is your favorite brand that you would want to go shop, buy, wear and enjoy wearing it?
Well, I kind of like Louis Vuitton a lot.
Yeah,
I
we
buy
see
a lot
a
of their
lot
bags.
of scarves.
Yeah, I buy a lot of their bags. I like their scarves. I love scarves. And I mean, this is a Gucci one, but I love Louis Vuitton a lot. I love what they've done with Virgil Abloh, and I also like Off-White. I like a lot of the younger brands. There's such good Korean designers today and Japanese designers, and I love that whole intermix that's happening internationally. I love brands which have kind of stayed to the test of time, changed according to the different generations, and I actually respect. I have a great regard and respect for people, individuals as well as brands which have stayed and with the test of time. It's not easy, it's tough, and I really respect people, friendships, relationships, associations, loyalty. These are rare words today, but I really have a great regard and respect for time together and time spent on something.
Okay, a trend that you would like to bring back.
Sometimes I think in all of this that's going on and too much is going on, I like the simplicity of the 50s. There was a certain style, there was a certain beauty. If you see the West and even all our Indian films, but there was a certain kind of grace, elegance, calmness. There wasn't so much effort to get attention. The attention just came. I kind of, and it was glamorous in its own way, And I would love to get back the 50s.
And what is your secret talent that nobody knows?
That I'm a terrible bathroom singer. Ask my assistant, he keeps hearing me and he keeps saying, why is it that, sir, when you go in the bathroom, a song starts? So I said, it's all the Bollywood influence of all my childhood.
It's been 29 years and watching it
childhood,
since.
Yeah,
watching it since. So what is the best fashion secret you ever learnt, which would help these students? The best fashion secret?
Surprise people. Not surprise people in the way that you completely do something that you're not that person. But if some people are expecting this out of you, don't do it. Do something different in your genre. And don't change your mindset, but kind of surprise people. You don't have to do everything that everybody expects you to do. And you don't have to do everything everybody's doing. So it's fine if you take that. So my entire journey actually was different because when fashion stores were being launched in 1987, and designers were starting a store called Ensemble in India, and courses were just starting in Delhi. I chose the path of films because films at that time was not something that designers were getting into, and then film costume designers were not getting into mainstream fashion. I got into that, and now I've kind of launched makeup. I'm launching a jewelry line. Jewelry line a lot of designers are doing, but makeup was another interesting. I'm now going to be producing a web series. So I've launched Manish Malhotra Productions, which design and decor for weddings.
Wow, that's great.
So we did Isha Ambani's Sangeet.
You already it's in the process.
No, so we did a big production with the Sangeet, Isha Ambani's, and it was a phenomenal experience for me, and something that I'll cherish all my life. It was beautiful, and I have been dreaming of this for the past years, to produce movies or produce web series and produce, because I have a lot of interest in it. I love it. I've been lucky with it. I really enjoy it. I enjoy storytelling and scripts. So this is the web series that I'm producing. We are right now in the discussion of putting the whole script together and all of that. And it'll soon get down to casting and into production. So I'm really looking forward to that. That's my job for Saturday and Sundays.
So how does your day look like? You get up in the morning, you go to gym at times. We see that on your...
Well, I just started a gym last month after a gap of 2 years.
So how many hours do you work in a day? And
so I have to share something really nice. I got into a large size shirt after 2 years.
Wow. Can we have a big round of applause?
Encourage me, guys, to take out that time and to work out. Health is so important. No, but I wake up really early. So I wake up at about 5:30, 6 a.m. Good days, I go to the gym. Bad days, I end up watching TV and mails and songs and sit with my mother and have even more tea. You know how Punjabi mothers are, she constantly thinks I'm looking thinner while I was actually going fatter. And and then I kind of go to work, and I'm not such a night person in terms of working. I'm a more early morning person. But but at times I work in the night too. So my day, like yesterday I was working from, Friday and Saturday, Thursday and Friday I was in Delhi working. Saturday I came to work in Bombay. Sunday morning I caught a 6 o'clock flight to Hyderabad. I came back in the afternoon, and then I had a work meeting at my house. Monday was waking up at 6 o'clock again, full day of work. Yesterday was Tuesday?
Yes, today's
Tuesday. Yeah, so I worked yesterday from 9 a.m., woke up at 6, worked from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m.
Wow.
And today I woke up at 4:30 and I've taken a 6 o'clock flight. I'm here with you guys and I go back to a work
Amazing.
meeting.
Amazing. Touch wood.
That's what it is.
So I'm now in need of vacation. Just hearing that I need a vacation.
I just took 9 days off from New York, which I'm very guilty about. So I try to put in work in that as well. So the next, I kind of start getting guilty with breaks.
Okay. So which is your favorite vacation spot?
New York.
Always?
I love New York. I find it a very liberating city. I love the cross cultures there. I love the clothes there. I love London, Paris, Switzerland. But I think New York is my Dubai. But New York is my most favorite.
How important is it for these students to showcase at a show? What is the importance of a show?
Well, today I think Instagram is there as well, which is your showcase all the time. Social media is there. But I enjoy fashion shows. I love the music. I love the stress. And it's like, till date, by the way, I get extremely stressed. When the shows go to start, I'm super hyper. My heartbeat goes faster. But I think I enjoy shows a lot. I enjoy the music, choreography, show direction. I'm an integral part of everything, the fittings and all of it. So I really enjoy fashion shows.
So what would be your biggest goal for the coming year 2020? Any goal that you set for yourself?
Well, I would definitely, right now we're really rushing to open the stores in July, and I would really, the next 1 year, look at having a lot of verticals in the brand, having launched a much younger label, taken my work to another level of, in terms of, newness and in terms of production and all creativity, and having started a couple of more verticals.
Wow. How do you decide a particular color for a collection, that this is the color I'm going to work on?
Well, each time, again, there's a color that I've seen somewhere, I've noticed it, it stayed in my mind, and then there's just an intuition where you feel, okay, this time I want to do it. I'm also very color oriented because I used to paint in school. So I love colors. I love mixing different colors. So I think colors come to you, or then you kind of think, I did these colors last year, I don't want to do them now. That I don't want to do this and I want to do that is a big thing that goes on with your life.
So which is your favorite color?
Off-white, white, ivory.
But you wear a lot of black.
Because it's the struggle with weight and the love for food. Being a full Punjabi North Indian person.
So
Don't Punjabis love their good food?
So which is your favorite cuisine? What do you like?
Indian. And if I had my way, I would eat Chinese food every second. Like every meal, one meal would be Indian and one
Ditto.
would be Chinese.
Oh, yes.
I love Chinese food. And I like the Indian Chinese, by the way, which is most fattening.
Okay, Manish, if you have any superpower, if you could have a superpower in the world, what would that be? If you're given a superpower.
What superpower? If I had a superpower, I wish I could fly. I wouldn't need an aircraft. I would just fly to another city, New York, come back after 2 days.
Okay, so you like, oh, okay, you would
So I
again go
love
to New York.
aircrafts. Yeah, or wherever I need to go. Go to Jaipur, come back, get inspired, look at all the beautiful embroidery, come back, come to Chandigarh, meet you guys. It could be so much fun. We could just fly.
Great. So travel has been your biggest teacher.
Yes,
So
I love
and you
travel.
observe a lot of things. So how has it helped you come out with any particular collection that you can tell us where you were traveling and you really got inspired by something and it transpired into a collection?
I think travel is an eye-opener. For me, travel, and I really recommend that to you all. Of course, today you can travel sitting in your bedroom with all the Google and all everything. But it is so important to know cultures, architecture, the way different people are, the way they think. It opens your mind. The way they look at clothes, the way they look at your work, the way they look at Indian fashion, the way they look at India, the way you look at the world. What inspires you? Cathedrals are so beautiful, and the flowers that you see everywhere, or the different styling. I mean, you sit in a street of New York or London and you see different people walking, and the way they put their clothes together. I love watching that. You get a sense of personality. But I'm very interested in that. I'm really interested in seeing things. I'm not such a good reader. I take a lot of time. I'm very slow in reading. But I love watching, I like watching documentaries. I like watching movies. I like watching traveling, restaurants, walking on the road. The best way to know a city is walk on the roads. And you get to know so much about a city. And there have been times where, like I remember, a lot of my collections are like with Persian, because I travel a lot to Dubai. I went to Saudi
Kashmiri
Arabia.
collection, that was really
Kashmir
beautiful.
is something that I went to
Yeah.
for a film called Rockstar. I bought a lot of beautiful fabric from there, with all the zari tilda work and the thread work, and I made a collection. And now it's been what, 8 years I do a lot of work in Kashmir. So travel is really, really inspiring to me.
Okay. So, when you work on a particular collection, I'm sure a lot of sampling is done. So, what is the process of the sampling? You can have your water and we can.
I'm always worried about the samples because I
Yeah.
always feel the samples are not good enough, and we have to, make them better. But that's where it all starts, right? So first, it starts with me discussing my thoughts out, and also now that I have big teams, I discuss with teams. I try to hear what they have to say, and we make mood boards. We make which are inspirational pictures, silhouettes, all of that, sketches, everything. Then color swatches. Then we start embroidery samples, and that's how a story comes together.
Okay. Any interesting incident that you can think of and tell us that you had on the sets with any particular actor that keeps coming back to you and brings back a smile on your face?
Well, I remember that we were doing a film Kuch Kuch Hota Hai, and we were in Scotland, and Karan told me that Rani Mukherjee, she's wearing an orange sari, peach sari, and he said her Mangalsutra. So I said, her Mangalsutra. He says, yeah, I asked you to get her Mangalsutra. I was like, yeah, it's there, it's there. And I just turned and I started walking. And I started walking and thinking, where am I going to get this Mangalsutra in Scotland? I just said, yeah, because when the director's dressed and they're already on the shoot, you can't say that. So I'm thinking, where am I going to get this Mangalsutra? Now what do I do? So I always take that little 2 minutes to think. I'm walking and I see Rani Mukherjee's mother coming, Krishna auntie, and she's wearing a Mangalsutra. And I said, I need this Mangalsutra. She says, you want my Mangalsutra? I said, yeah, it's for your daughter. For a short, can you give it to me? And it had a coral bead in it. So I took it to Karan and I said, see, this is the simple Mangalsutra, and the coral bead, I matched it to this sari. He said, yeah, that's so pretty, fine. And of course, in the night, we laughed about it. Over dinner, I told them that this is what had actually happened. But at that time, they were like, wow, the Mangalsutra matches so perfectly.
It appeared. The Mangalsutra appeared.
So sometimes when you work sincerely, things appear and things happen. But you need to think about it.
Okay.
So I actually, I panic over silly things because I have OCD. So I like the flowers to be correct. I like the bathroom doors to be shut. I don't understand people who get up from chairs and never put the chair back. I don't like things thrown around. I'm a very neat person in that sense. But when there are bigger problems, I actually listen to them calmly and take that 2 minutes to think. Because a lot of the answers are within us. We just need to give it a little time to think. Not too much time, but little time.
You've been doing so many shows and it's been 14 years since you've launched your label. So do you still get butterflies in your stomach before a show?
I just mentioned that earlier. Yes, I do. In fact, I overdid the shows in the last 3 years. Last year we did almost 12 fashion shows, which is not,
in a
which
year.
was just too much, yeah.
That's like every show every month.
Yeah,
12 months.
literally.
Yeah.
And so it was crazy. And this year I made it a point that no, I'm not going to do more than 2 shows, because we're also starting a lot of verticals which need concentration. And then you're saying too much. And so I've made that very conscious effort. No, I'm not going to do that many shows. I'm going to do lesser shows, and then we have so many other things to concentrate on.